This is CFRE sitting down with Matt Holubowski.
Yeah. Hi.
So for the first question, you just released your new album, Weird Ones. What was your favorite song and why?
My favorite song, I think, is Moon Rising, because it's kind of the weirdest one on the record, and it was kind of where I wanted to go musically overall, and so I thought it was maybe a little bolder than some of the other ones, and it's also really fun to play live.
And then, what was the reason that you chose Through Fair as the first single for the album?
The real answer is that we chose Thoroughfare because it was the only one that was ready at the time that my team wanted to launch a single. I was really happy with that choice too because it was, it's kind of like, it's pretty like it's like a smooth, dancey song for me. I kind of was trying to do something like you're trying to dance underwater or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was a little more uplifting maybe than some of the stuff I've done before. And so I was happy with that.
So how long did the album take? What was the first song?
I wrote the first song. I mean, some of the songs date back a couple of years. Like we did a stretch of tour in Europe, and then we recorded some of the stuff from this record like in a studio in Paris like 3 years ago. But like let's say from start to finish, when I was like, okay, today I start writing a record, maybe like a year and a half. Mm-hmm. It was long.
Yeah, and then there's stuff about you writing in Banff, Paris, and Montreal. Mm-hmm. What impact did writing there have on your lyrics?
I think it was more of like a personal impact, and like I think I write pretty personal songs, so they all kind of had an influence on me for like completely different reasons. In Krakow, for example, it was kind of a place where I was like looking for some like courage or inspiration or resilience, and so there's a lot of like themes of like hope and so on that came from there. And in Banff I just went to like try stuff out. I just like plugged in a bunch of synths and guitars and made noise and sounds, and so some of the cool things came from there. Montreal's my home, so it was like the place where I was comfortable to write.
Mm. And then for this album, you seem to step away from folk music. It's kind of like what you wrote before. Mm-hmm. What made you make that decision?
It wasn't so much a decision as it was just like the natural course of things. I think like, we all evolve. Like the kind of music you listen to now isn't necessarily what you listen to when you're younger or what you listen to when you're older. And I'm the same way, and so as a result, what I want to do changes, and in 2014, I really wanted to do like old school Dylan acoustic guitar, singer-songwriter stuff, and then times changed, what I listened to changed, and I kind of wanted to follow what I love in that moment.
And then what is this tour compared like to old tours and festivals that you've played?
The tour hasn't begun. We begin like tomorrow. Oh. So I don't know yet, but it differs in that it's going to be more varied, bigger venues, bigger setup, a lot more instruments on stage. We just like bought so much gear and guitars and all that stuff. I guess if you ask me in 6 months, I'll be able to better answer that one.
But what has been your favorite like venue from past tours?
I did a lot of really cool. I did some really nice opening acts where I got to play in some like pretty mythical places. In Toronto, I played Massey Hall with the Head and Heart, and that was insane. I love that venue. I'd say that's probably like top 3 coolest venues I've played. And I played one in Hamburg in Germany called the Elbphilharmonie, which is like this philharmonic hall, and it's this like great. It looks like a spaceship. It's like on 3 levels, and it's a 360 venue, so you're kind of playing with your back turned to some people. But, so that was a crazy one. I really liked Paradiso in Amsterdam. That's a really cool venue. Like all these like really mythical venues where you look at the billboard and all the coolest bands you've ever seen have passed through there.
Do you think the fan interaction in different countries is different depending on the music scene?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't really thought about that. I think like, we have more of a following like back home. So obviously the fan interaction is more like, I really love your music, and so there's already like a connection with the music. But in some cases when we tour like as an opening act, a lot of the people may not have an idea of what we do. So it's a lot of like people are surprised and like, oh, this is really good. I never heard this before. But I don't know how it differs from country to country. Definitely there's a different reaction. Like let's say in France, for example, they're like super polite and they won't clap in between songs, and it'll just, so you finish the song and it ends, and you're like, okay, did you like it? And then at the end they give you the whole clapping treatment. So the record came out last Friday, so it's available everywhere on Spotify and Apple Music and iTunes. You can buy it like the good old days on vinyl, which is very cool. There's also a CD, which I'm told still exists. And we're on tour. We'll be here at the Great Hall on March 19th.